The night Masaaki Noiri was indestructible. It's impressive knocking out 3 fighters in one night. It's even more impressive when you don't even seem to break a sweat doing it. In his first fight, he fought Fumiya. Here, Masaaki uses a left kick to the wrist, and naturally, after this kick, Fumiya is going to circle to his own left away from the kick. As Masaaki recovers his stance, Fumiya is going to look to try and jab through the guard, but he's drifting and circling into that right straight of Masaaki Noiri, the first hard shot of the fight. Masaaki keeps a tight guard, parrying and deflecting until he gets Fumiya to the ropes, which is where he opens up to the body. Here, Fumiya hits a left round kick, and Masaaki shoots underneath with a right low kick, off-balancing Fumiya. Fumiya uses spins, but Masaaki is very calm in the face of them, blocking, keeping his tight guard with his palms turned in, attacking low to the calf until he gets him to the ropes. Here, he uses a right knee to try and exploit the gap in the guard of Fumiya. It misses, but it still has an effect. It stands Fumiya up. He switches stance, hiding it with that knee, pulls his left elbow to his hip, and drives a left straight like a piston through the guard of Fumiya for the first knockdown of the night. He keeps his guard tight as Fumiya tries to lash out once he gets up from the 8 count, and he uses this right hand with no wind-up. Both fighters rolling in the pocket as the hooks are coming in. Very nice, but Masaaki has the high ground because Fumiya is against the ropes. Again, he throws a knee. It doesn't land, but it stands Fumiya straight up, and that allows him to land his punches. As Fumiya stands up above his guard, he lands a tight right straight. KO number 1 of the night. Fight number 2 against Ayinta Ali. Ayinta is the taller fighter, but this is no problem for Masaaki. He defends the calf kick and answers with his own, hinging the knee and turning it out, allowing the calf kick to fall under. Then, as Ayinta jabs back, he times when the weight steps onto that lead leg and he can't deflect that calf kick. Again, Ali tries to use his long right hand, but Masaaki times it with a left kick underneath the cross, targeting the liver. Again, starting fights with lower shots to the body and legs. Here, he sneaks his back leg in, does Masaaki, sneaking the back leg in, allowing him to get more penetration of the hip into that front kick. And then he's going to go front kick again. The partially arced, semi-shilt style, coming in with an internal rotation of the hip, targeting the liver with the ball of the foot. He goes up high and then sets him up with a body shot. But here he fakes his right shoulder before landing the body shot to make Ali tense up and bring his hands up. And then he allows that body shot to come in through the underside, under the elbow. He goes back to this toe kick, the Chuzoku kick, and even though Ali blocks, the toes still fit around the guard. Even when looking for the finish, Noiri is still intelligent enough to mix up his tempos. There he steps back from the knee, and to finish he goes head body. Classic Bas Rutten. Very loose hook to the head and digs it to the body. And in the final he fights Rukiya Anpo, a knockout machine famous for these 2-touch high kicks that he will land on many opponents and score knockouts on. But even though it's the final, Masaaki looks like he's listening to some Masayoshi Takanaka at the beach and is nice and chilled. Again, attacking low in the early goings of the fight and keeping a high guard as he does so, using that same left kick to counter the long right straight of another taller opponent, massively knocking Rukiya Anpo out of his base. Here again, he uses the same check, so that kick doesn't land on the calf. Anpo fires back with fast hand combinations at different levels to find the gaps in Masaaki's guard, closely missing with the knee. However, Masaaki switches southpaw, but Anpo fires large right kicks and side kicks, keeping Noiri off balance in the early going. Noiri then digs to the body again with the triangle kick. Anpo switches stance into a turning side kick, but Noiri keeps the pressure on and keeps Anpo using lots of energy, importantly. Only fully committing to his combinations once he's got Anpo's stance flattened against the ring ropes. There's the end of round 1. Noiri comes out with pressure again, looking to counter Anpo's big tiring actions with kicks to the lower level and that counter left kick to the body as Anpo tries to commit. There, Anpo uses his jab, and as he circles out, Noiri just follows him with a very tight, classic kickboxing guard. Anpo opens up with his signature technique, that 2-touch low kick into high kick, and then he'll step back southpaw and try and dig the toes into the body. But Noiri stays solid and has that great Kyokushin conditioning. Continues to dig kicks into the calf whenever Anpo puts that foot down too heavy, opening up with combinations as Anpo's stuck into the ropes. When Anpo tries to lean on him to take a breath after the explosive actions, he's always met with a series of knees. He's never given any rest in this fight. Anpo steps back southpaw, which opens up the gate for that right kick from Masaaki Noiri. Going into the last round of the tournament, and Masaaki still looks incredibly chill, listening to Otengo Suerte on the beat, keeping tight hand position and countering with low kicks against the jab of Anpo even later into the fight. throwing more combinations and keeping the pace up, not allowing Anpo to get clinches and rest because he's filling the space with knees to the body. There he uses his lean back left kick after Anpo throws his switching knee. Noiri stays disciplined, targeting the legs and body despite the explosive actions of Anpo, not getting dragged into a brawl, mixing up his tempo between his headshots and his body shots, digging into the calf, really debilitating the perineal nerve of Anpo. And once he gets him to the ropes, that's when he really opens up. Anpo swings wide and tries to drag him into a brawl, but Noiri still throws his right straight as tight as he did in the first fight. And there's the first knockdown of this final. A left hook is going to bring the right hand up. Right uppercut is going to lift the chin of Anpo and expose that liver, plus load up the hips of Noiri for a loose, beautifully landed left hook into the liver for the first knockdown of this fight. Recovering from a body shot like that at the end of a night's tournament is hard work, but Anpo somehow manages to do it. But Noiri stays calm in the face of Anpo's swings and goes back to that triangle kick, internally rotating the hip, digging the ball of the foot into the already damaged liver of Rukiya Anpo, and then hits the pop-off for the win. 3 knockouts in one night. If you like the breakdown, subscribe to the channel, check out the Patreon, let me know what I should break down next. Boom, ba 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 boom, 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 ba 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 boom, 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 ba 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 boom, boom, ba da ba boom. Cheers.